Welcome to Robert Valor, or rather, Robert Nauer. Robert Valor is my stage name for me, my songs, and singing, and my music company, the Robert Valor Project record label. But for those of you that know me, born and raised in Florida, served in the Navy as an officer, retired from the government as a retired Fed after working for Department of Defense and many different agencies, including Treasury. Later starting my own DC consulting firm, where I made a shit ton of money after retiring from federal government. And starting that company and sold it. Retiring to write books, novels, murder mysteries, and songs, and many other things. Yeah, I guess I'm a creative guy. Rarely do things piss me off. Rarely. Once in a while. But I decided I had to do a video about this because I am so fucking pissed off at Navy Federal Credit Union, NFCU, and there are a lot of others that are too. But I am so, I've been with Navy Federal Credit Union, NFCU, for 50 plus years. Shh, you don't need to bark at the people going by. So I felt it was important to do this because of the simple fact that as almost a lifetime member, I mean, it is my lifetime. I'm 75 and I've been with NFCU now for 50 fucking plus years. Yeah, I'm going to cuss a little bit because I'm pissed. And up until about 2008, Navy Federal was a fabulous credit union to be with. But like USAA, that also used to be a very good organization that used to service military members exclusively. And the same thing used to be the case with NFCU before they decided to be a whore for everybody. Everybody can join NFCU. Everybody can join USAA. The more the merrier. So as they increased their population of customers and clients, they also, through that expansion, had their quality of services diminish. The servicing of their customers, their most important customers, their long-term customers, diminish. But they decided to go to third-party apps. You know what a third-party app is? The same crap that's used on your iPhone. So they went to this third-party app for mortgages, home mortgages, called Home Squad. Now, up until 2008, we always had great interactions with Navy Federal Credit Union and their mortgage department. Quick, efficient, quality servicing, good rates. You know, they took care of their members. But they don't do that anymore. NFCU, Navy Federal Credit Union, does not give a shit about their members anymore. They're quality members that have $500,000 up in their bank and into their credit union. They just don't give a shit about us. And they don't give a shit about us because they went to third-party apps that they, for whatever reason, because of trying to get efficient, just thought that they were really good. So here's the point. I have a shit ton of money with them. I have it. And a shit ton of money is a lot of money. Okay. So my wife and I have a lot of money with Navy Federal, always have had. And we've always exclusively gone with Navy Federal Credit Union for their mortgages, for their car loans, and all that crap that people need. And And our credit ratings are the highest probably you can get. I mean, we're almost out of sight. We have no debt. But NFCU went to this thing called Home Squad for mortgages. And the minute that they did that, they began pissing customers off like me and my wife and others, many others. And it's like the upper echelon of Navy Federal Credit Union, the chairman of the board, their members, their chief executive officer, their senior vice presidents, their chief operating officer, their chief information officer, just stopped giving a shit about us, about their customers. And we're about ready to stop giving a shit about NFCU too. So 5 years ago, I encountered my first glitch with Navy Federal Credit Union in this bullshit called Home Squad. And we have money coming in. We've got anything that you could want, great credit ratings. And of course, Home Squad, the guy I talked to at the time, which was a recently disaffiliated Marine Corps captain who went to work for Navy Federal Credit Union in their mortgage department. He said, "Oh, Mr. Nauer, I'm so sorry. We've got to go through this thing called Home Squad, but I'm telling you about it. I'll tell you how it works, blah, 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 blah. But you got to upload all these documents, your income verification forms, your assets, your bank accounts, and blah, blah, blah." So I did that. And none of it would upload. Too many calls back and forth. NFCU appears to be literally incapable as a bank to transact a mortgage. And when you tell them that there's a glitch with their software, which is a third-party software, piece of shit, they do nothing about it. So 5 years ago, when we bought a big 3,000 square foot house in Ocala, we were thinking about selling it and moving. And I knew I was going to need to get a pre-approval letter and all that crap. And that's when they told me that I had to go through Home Squad. Well, it became so goddamn frustrating and just annoying, and it was like having a fucking migraine headache using Home Squad with NFCU, that I just said, fuck it. I tried to get my wife to use it, and she had the same problems. And we're both, I'm very IT savvy. I'm a very IT savvy guy. I used to write software. I used to know COBOL, consulting with software systems. I know it. And these stupid companies like Navy Federal that go and purchase license rights to use off-the-shelf third-party software, they make such big mistakes by doing that and not vetting it properly, being sold a bill of goods. So my wife and I became so frustrated by the whole process that we just said, fuck it, we'll just go with a local bank. And we did. We went with a local bank here in the Sumter County region. And I didn't have a need for NFCU or for this bullshit Home Squad app until just recently, 5 years later. So at 5 years now, my wife and I decided we want to sell where we're at and buy a really nice custom house out in the country near us. And to do that, we had to get a mortgage, just like any other time. And like I said in a previous video, my wife and I have owned 36 homes in our 46 years of marriage. 36 homes. Move a lot with the government and just moving in general. So, you're looking at $600,000 for this little tiny house we want to custom build to get a mortgage for it. And we have always been very loyal to NFCU, and we expect, and I'm now right at this very moment, I'm speaking to the chairman of the board of NFCU, to the chief executive officer of NFCU, to the chief operating officer of NFCU, and to the chief information officer of NFCU. This is who I'm speaking to right now, not to the public at large, but you can listen in. Up until now, my wife and I have always been very loyal to NFCU, always put our money there, always done our transactions with you. But you haven't been loyal to us. You have been anything but. You have been disloyal. And that really fucking pisses me off as a customer, as a long time 50-plus year customer of NFCU, Navy Federal Credit Union. Let me say that. You've gotten too big for your britches. You've gotten way too fucking big for your britches, NFCU. And maybe it is that the big wigs, the CEO, the chief operating officer, and chairman of the board of NFCU, maybe it is you just don't hear what your customers are saying, or you're just so aloof that you just don't pay attention, or you say, oh, we've got so much to manage, it's just so difficult. We can't pay attention to our customers. But it is your customers, assholes, that pay your fucking salaries. I learned that a long time ago in business. And so, yeah, we're pissed off. So anyway, we called NFCU to see, and they said, oh, we got to use Home Squad. Well, I just pulled this right here, this, down off the World Wide Web using AI, and I was using ChatGPT and Grok. And this is what it says. Now, I'm going to tell you what my experience has been. Inability to upload documents. Inability to interface with your mortgage people. It's like they don't even fucking listen to anything or call you. Now, I'm 75. I'm very intelligent. I've run many businesses. I've run multi-million-dollar businesses besides being in the government. And I kind of fucking know what I'm doing. So when I speak to you, Mr. Chairman of the Board and Chief Executive Officer, you're not talking to some fucking novice here, okay? Now, this is what the World Wide Web says about you. This isn't me. I'm worse. I'm going to tell you the truth. This is what ChatGPT says. Not everyone, and I want you to listen closely to what I say, because this is what the World Wide Web says about you, NFCU. Not everyone has problems with Navy Federal Credit Union mortgages, but a large number of members do report highly frustrating experiences with the Home Squad mortgage app process. But a large number of members report highly frustrating experiences. Well, that's putting it mildly, Mr. Chief Executive Officer and Chairman of the Board, usually an admiral, retired. While the credit union itself, NFCU, is praised for having excellent interest rates and no PMI options, the mortgage underwriting and administrative side of the Home Squad app and NFC, before the battery runs out, let me go ahead and finish this up. Frequently struggles with delays and bad communication. Common complaints of NFCU members And bottlenecks associated with the Home Squad platform include poor communication and slow turn times. Members and real estate agents frequently cite that the loan processing can take much longer than expected, and it is not uncommon to experience delayed responses or have loan officers go on unannounced vacations in the middle of your process, which can threaten your closing date. Disorganized document request. Borrowers, moi, often report that underwriters fail to ask for all the required documents up front. Well, that wasn't the case with us. We submitted them all, but they wouldn't even upload properly. And it is not our computer nor our software, okay? Leading to tedious back and forth processes where the new paperwork is continuously requested by the mortgage processing officer. Agent reluctance. Because of these well-known delays with NFCU's Home Squad and Mortgage Department, some real estate agents actively discourage buyers from using Navy Federal, and sellers may be hesitant to accept any offers backed by their mortgages simply because of known existing problems with NFCU Home Squad. Systematic friction. While Home Squad was designed as a streamlined third-party app portal to electronically manage your mortgage application, verify assets, and upload documents, many users, right here, find the back and forth execution and document management clunky, to say the least. If an unusual situation occurs which requires any manual input. So in other words, guys, your third-party bullshit application doesn't really work. Now, this is the second time in 5 years we've tried to use it. I am an experienced IT guy. I've actually written software. I've actually worked with over 35 different extensive business programs. So is my wife. And your system is the biggest, I'm just going to say this bluntly, is the biggest piece of shit anybody could ever have to deal with. And all it does, and what it does, is it pisses long-time, good-standing members like me and my wife, pisses us off so bad that we are thinking of just pulling all our money out of NFCU permanently. Because you don't give a shit. You, the chairman of the board, you, the CEO, you, the CIO, you, the chief operating officer, none of you seem to give a shit or a rat's ass about us, your members. You don't care. So, if you look me up, Robert, K-N-A-U-E-R, that's Robert, K-N-A-U-E-R, and my wife, Linnea, L-I-N-N-E-A, K-N-A-U-E-R. If you look us up, you've got our phone numbers, you've got our emails, you know how to contact us, and you can do a better fucking job than you're currently doing. Because we are so pissed off and tired of dealing with NFCU right now. Yeah, you're going to lose all our money. I'm surprised that other members aren't ready to pull their money out of NFCU too. Especially those of us that buy and sell property. So, anyway, that's Robert Nauer, better known as Robert Valor, talking to NFCU and anybody out there in the world that has ever dealt with Home Squad, NFCU mortgages. And with that, Bob out.